Hello and welcome to JK, It's Not About You. I'm Jen Rouse.
And I'm Kelly Mirko, and we're your hosts. We're new empty nesters, and we're here to talk about what the next chapter looks like.
For so long, we were taxi drivers,
Domestic engineers, chefs,
tutors, cheerleaders,
and everything else that goes along with being a parent.
No days off, no paid vacation, and very limited time to pursue our own passions. It just wasn't about us.
It really wasn't. Join us on this new endeavor as we find passions in all things empty nesting. The little birdies have flown the coop and they're living their best lives, and now it's our turn. We're sweating through our 50s trying to figure it all out.
From resetting on marriage, navigating divorce, dating at 50, we're here to reclaim our calendars, our bodies, and our newly found identities in this confusing yet exciting new phase of life.
So grab your glass of wine or beverage of choice, your cozy sweats, and join us as we unpack all things real in our 50s.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Hi.
We're remote again.
Woo! World travelers.
I know.
Empty nesting is leaving the nest.
This is a busy month.
It's been a busy month. Yes, it is. I'm out in California. I think Kelly's on her way next week.
Yep, Monday.
We're going to do some episodes here, which will be really fun. Kim, at your studio or makeshift studio right now until yours is up and up.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm glad Kimberly's with us today just to update you on what we've been doing and,
Checking in
with our viewers. I met one today.
Yes, tell us about that, Jen.
Oh my God, it was so funny. I was at McCall's Pilates studio. I took a class this morning and my brother was in it. Man, what a burner.
I can't wait to get there and burn.
Like, you don't think it's going to be hard and these little moves I'll let you know tomorrow when I really can't walk, but it was really hard. Great class though.
You gotta pulse it out, right?
Well, according to Antonia Kaw, the psychic lady, she's like, you need to be doing Pilates and working on your core and all the muscles. Kelly, you did some classes in Jackson. Kelly's been in Jackson, so she did some reformer classes.
I did 5 reformer classes while I was there because I really wanted to be sore from it. And the only other time I've ever done a Pilates class on a reformer was with McCall at her old studio. And mind you, I wasn't working out as much, but regardless, I could not move anything the next day, and it hurt to cough. My stomach was so sore. Zero, literally zero.
So these instructors aren't as hard.
Exactly. So I'm all I kept thinking was, I can't wait to see McCall.
This lady, she did, and it was crazy. She did a full body today.
Yeah.
I know I always like Pilates because it gets your butt, which it's hard for us to our age to always get our butt and our, because I run, I do my legs get a lot, but not your butt and she got your back muscles and your arms. And so it really does get, into the muscle slash
it is.
Yeah.
It's an amazing workout if it's done with the right people. Absolutely.
Yes. And she went a little longer. So it was, even harder because it was longer than an hour. It was intense. Jason was sweating
In her brand new studio. So we're going to all be going next week.
We're all going to go next week. We're going to I think we should do something from there so people can get a glimpse of what it is because it's
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that'll be great. That'll be great.
Wait, so you had a fan at Pilates. This is so great. Do you remember what the woman's name was, or what did she?
No, but
break it down.
We had met one other time, and she was like, "Oh, hey," because I met her last time I was in town, and her kids go to your kids' school too. So I think they're all the moms. She's a lot younger. But she's like, "Hey, I've been watching your podcast. I was waiting to see the update on your date. What happened?"
Oh, well, give the people what they want.
I said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that." Yeah, so it was, not impressive. It was just, it's so hard.
the last time you were in
This
Santa
was
Monica?
this
That
was the
day?
last time I met him in Brentwood.
We didn't tell that story
This is
yet?
through the matchmaking service.
We didn't tell that story yet?
You
We
probably did.
didn't.
Maybe
You know, it's funny because I forget what we filmed versus I
forgot,
forget I
yeah.
get the behind the scenes. Oh, you got to tell them real quick. What happened?
So, it's so hard. I mean, we touched on this with Missy, like the texting versus like the real life meetup. In our generation, it's so weird because he was such a great texter and he was really like fun to talk to that way, and then you meet these people and it's like, well, first of all, it wasn't great because he made me drive to him, which I didn't really love. It was a lunch situation and it was very busy. It was a Friday afternoon.
Back it up even a little further than that.
Oh, we canceled the first day. So I'd give him my window of dates and he canceled at 3 o'clock in the morning, which I thought was weird too. I'm like, okay, first of all, why his dog had some eye issue and he's like, do you mind if we move it to the next day? And I was like, okay, I guess that's okay. And at first I thought that was a little odd because I'm like, okay, first of all, do you find it like you don't know me? I mean, I know we've texted and we've made our acquaintance, but like you don't know me. And to just cancel and say, because I can't sleep was a very odd thing. So I was a little off put, I will be honest, but I kept an open mind because that's who I am. And I went anyway. And he was like, let's just meet in Brentwood. And because of all the fire situations, which we're going to touch on next week, getting all the way around from Malibu is pretty hard. I mean, it was like 2.5 hours to get to Brentwood when it should be 40 minutes, like, and I sat and then he wasn't at the restaurant and I didn't realize he was bringing his dog. And look, I'm a dog person, but there's 3 tables on the patio. So now there's an hour wait for a patio seat. He wasn't there.
Where was he,
And he
Jen?
wondered where was he? He was killing time at the dog park. And apparently there's this fancy dog park that you can have drinks and coffee and get out your laptop and
Instead of getting
do
a
your
table.
work and like so he's killing time at the dog park and I'm sitting on the 405.
And then didn't you like get to the restaurant? And then what happened when you finally got there after being
I mean, he was attractive. He was really attractive.
Wait,
And
did you have to like wait for an hour or two or something?
well, I put our name in, even though they don't really allow it. I think the host felt sorry for me because I showed up a half hour. I was there like 20 minutes early because I wanted to time. I mean, my brother's like, you need to allow a lot of time to get to Brentwood now, And so I was like, okay. And I did. But I was kind of off put. And so I mentioned something like, you're at the dog park and I sat in traffic and you couldn't manage to get here and get a table. Like, it's a little rude. And he's like, you just don't like California. You don't like California, so you must be sick of this traffic or whatever. And I'm like, that's not what this was about. It was just about like, I love California. I'm back. Like, okay, that has nothing to do with it. And I don't even mind sitting in traffic if it was like a halfway point.
Absolutely. There was just
Like
no
if
give.
he sat in some traffic and it was a halfway point and, like I have no issue with, it's just so strange. I'm telling you, like it's
I
very
would have
strange.
loved if he was like, I went to the restaurant, there was a long wait since this is what my husband would have done, by the way.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is the
That's
kind of
fair.
stuff he would have done now that I'm thinking about it. I went to the restaurant to get us a table. They said it was going to be an hour late, and I know that you were already sitting in long traffic, which, by the way, thank you again. I really appreciate you making the time to come meet me. So what I did was instead, I ordered us, I hope you don't mind, but I ordered us a little to-go lunch, and we can have a picnic here at the dog park. I hope that's okay with you.
That
Like
would have been nice.
something nice. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. It's super weird now, ladies, you married ladies. It's
I-
very weird out there.
Selfish.
It's
Uh,
weird.
It's
Yeah,
just,
extreme.
it's just, yeah, I don't know. And I really thought like he was a little older than me and not by much. I mean, yeah, he was a little older than me. I thought like, you're having this intention to like meet somebody, and
Exactly.
it's just like he just kind of felt, I don't know. It just felt like Yeah, I'll throw that in my day if you come over here, like, and it's
No effort.
no effort. No effort.
Rude.
I have another one on Saturday,
Okay.
so we stay tuned. I'm
Yay.
hopeful. We'll see. This one made a reservation. What?
Oh,
Give us the details. Go on. We're
he's
waiting.
already winning.
This one is already winning because he made us a nice reservation.
99th
He
percentile.
said he would drive all the way here. I'm in Malibu, and I, he lives in Hermosa Beach, so
Oh,
that's kind of
wow.
far. But he made we made a halfway point, so we're meeting in Santa Monica, and I do have a PCH pass, so that'll be a little easier for me, and it's dinner time, so we'll see how this plays out. You get to stay tuned to hear
I was
about
going
it.
to say.
I don't know a lot about him. My matchmaker that was, had me quit. So this is a new one starting over. So I don't know. We'll see.
Wait, you quit your matchmaker?
No, my matchmaker quit. 3-day rule. She quit.
She was done?
Done. I think I did her in.
Wait, she fired you or she quit
No,
matchmaking?
she quit the company. Like, she's like, by the way, it's my last week. After I like got to know her and we were just making
Oh my
headway
God.
about my likes, dislikes, like we were just like getting to know each other and all this stuff, she quit.
Oh my God, that is
So
the
now I have a
best.
new one.
You have a new one. Okay.
I have
Well,
a new one.
maybe it'll be a better one. Because she wasn't
Listen,
great.
listen. I have okay, like
Roll the dice.
it's fine.
Well, that's
It's fine.
exciting.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, girls got to eat.
We'll update everyone next week, Jen.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you didn't even tell everybody. The two of you don't act like you're so humble. Like you are in your Malibu bungalow, Jen and
Yep.
Kelly. You guys shut down your restaurant as you're not shut it down like permanently, but your seasonal shutdown. And you went to Jackson Hole. So you guys have some fun stories. The rest of us are just at home watching you. So can you please expand on what is happening with you guys? What's been going on the last couple days?
Kelly, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, we spent a little bit of time. We're closed for almost 2 months, which is like super exciting for us. Break for John and the team. Most people around these neck of the woods go to southern Utah, and a lot of our staff goes camping, and they do a lot of outdoor things, as well as it's really transient. A lot of our staff is young, so they go back and visit family, etc. So the last week, I've been in Jackson Hole checking out a different ski resort town, which is pretty much shut down, similar to Park City. But it was, it's always nice to check all of these ski towns out. Just a week there was plenty for me. The town is really cute.
It's small, right?
It's small. Like the setup of it, like I think I told you, reminds me of Aspen. No bouge, but the square aspect of it.
I like how that's laid out a lot.
Similar to Ketchum, also.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
Trini pointed that out. So yeah, I mean, it's always fun. It's much more cowboy up there than it is here, even in Heber. It was a lot of fun. Close, 4-hour drive. 4-hour drive. But those mountains are pretty great. The restaurant's not my favorite, but I could see like going and exploring there during the summertime. I understand why summer is their busy season. They're busier in the summer than they are in the winter in Jackson Hole.
For climbing and like that kind of thing, like at the
It's only 5
Tetons.
minutes. Yep, they're like 5 minutes from the Tetons. It's like it's like being if Park City was in Zion.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just so busy. Everyone, it's the only time of year you can hike the Tetons. So they have a limited time, and that town is just on fire. So
Guys, you're speaking a different language. What is a Teton? What are we? You got to tell
A
us.
mountain-
Tetons are a mountain range.
Where
We
you
say
And
from?
they're really, really, really like known for like I think it's a very challenging climb, right? I mean, it is. Yeah.
Yes, Elias is like going to go climb there this summer.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of like guided tours, and there's a lot of camping, and a lot of people just stay in town of Jackson and do day trips because it's that close.
Yes.
So it's
And is there river rafting and stuff too? Like, is there
Actually,
water there, or
you're on the Snake. You're the Snake
Snake.
River. You're on the
Okay.
Snake River, which is
which goes through
famous-
Idaho, right?
Yes, yes. a famous river out in the West.
That's
So
amazing.
there's a lot of rafting and just tubing, like, how we can tube down the Provo, which is
Mhm.
another river right here. Same kind of thing. People are fly fishing, so it's beautiful. But I'm very happy to be back in
Be
Utah.
back.
Oh yeah, I
It's
love
good to
Utah.
know. And it's good to know that they also shut down a little bit, because I wouldn't want to go when they're shut down. Like, you want to go when they're.
Yes, that's correct. So when people reach out to me in March because they want to come in April or May, and I'm closed, I let them know that a lot of town is closed because most people wouldn't even think to check that. And so I'm like, just be aware that, if you have young kids or, there's not a lot of things open and there's not as many activities to do because you can't ski and you can't mountain bike. I mean, you can't really hike until the trails are dry.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So that's why it closes, is because it's like still wet from the snow. It's not snowing.
Mud.
It's done.
They call it mud season.
Mud season. Right. I remember you guys had talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. So when does mud season last? What, April and May?
I'd say by June it's gone usually.
Okay. So April and May.
April's crappy. Yep.
Okay.
April's crappy. I think that we're very lucky this year because our trails are pretty dry right now. But Jen's right. I mean, usually, like, I won't plant my garden till June 1st, period. No matter.
Even if it's nice, because you could still get snow.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, mountain town living. Different.
Wow. Okay, good. And so, Jen, how did you end up? So, if anyone hears any waves in the background, it's because she's in her beach bungalow right now for a couple weeks,
Which I want to live in permanently.
which you want permanently.
Yes, it's been really nice. Been out here. I drove out a week and a half ago, and it's been just lovely walking the beach. And Maya got to be on the beach and run. Sarah has been in finals, but she finished the last one yesterday.
Yay.
So this weekend, I'm going to be moving her into another empty nesting thing you're not done with. So now we're moving out of the dorm into an apartment on campus, but it's an apartment situation where she'll live with three other girls, but have a kitchen and have a little bit more living, space. And so she's excited about that. So I'm here to move. So we're going to do that. And yeah, but I came out just to I was feeling that empty nest blues. My brother pulled me aside today. He's like, you're going through so many changes. I just want to check on how you're doing. You look really preoccupied. And I said, it's funny. I was feeling that way and sad and whatever, but this actually helped me a lot to get away and clear my head. And I said, I'm just really resting and, trying to kind of, establish the next chapter. I'm just digesting. And I think it's one of those things that I've helped in the aunt role this week, going to kids' performances and picking them up from school and having that, what I'm good at, and my little nephews are like, Aunt Jen, you should live here, so cute. And it's good to be wanted like that again. It's finding that, okay, what's the new normal? And Jason was like, it will even out. Everything will work out, and I said, it will. It's just that momentary of now what,
You're in a transition period.
It really is. And I knew it was coming, and I felt part of it when Sarah left for college, but then, she came home last summer, and, now that's not happening again. So it's every year is kind of a different element to it,
Very much so.
So anyway, that's, just trying to find my footing and finding out where, what I want to do, if I want to live part-time here or all the time here or kind of what I am trying to navigate my next chapter.
I want to propose something to you.
Sure.
Just workshop this out with me for a minute. Why don't we swap? Okay, now hear me out.
House swap. Remember The Holiday?
You want,
It's
yes.
my favorite movie.
That's
Holiday
exactly
movie.
right.
Oh,
So
God, no. No, you're getting the whole swap, Jen. You're getting the
Oh,
whole
I get all the kids?
So I got 3 kids. So I have a surplus of children. I have nobody to help
Surplus.
me. And then I would love to have a giant empty house up in Park City because it's literally amazing and gorgeous and
Yeah.
quiet. And we can make this a permanent thing, or we could just do, a couple weeks at a time. But
You know what? I will take you up on this. I got to tell you.
we have a beautiful guest room
Yep.
downstairs, you know, and
Yep.
no one's going to bother you except for the 3 kids. And you're
They're not going to bother me.
feeling like a really good fit. I want to work and just be like in silence and be able to work 100 hours a week. And you're
You
not.
wait, Kim. I'm gonna talk to. We're gonna revisit this conversation in 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Although I'll be really old then.
No, you won't.
Really
You'll
old.
get
Yeah, I ran into one of my mom's neighbors, and I was like, my parents' old neighbors, and I was like, she's like, I just got a facelift. It looks great. I'm like,
Said that of herself to you?
yes, and I'm like, I'm glad you think so. Okay, that's awesome.
Let them.
I'm like, oh man,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
fighting aging too, but I'm like, I don't know.
That's classic.
Yeah, it's classic.
Well, I have to say, I can attest. I just want to say, I can attest that Jen has been very busy in her aunt role because I have seen her at football because her nephews play with my son. And I have seen her at school plays. She has been there. Sometimes she doesn't see me, so I'm like,
I didn't see you at the play. I was like hyper focused on JoJo. He came out. The kindergartners got to come out and
so cute.
he
Run.
loved having a fan. He's not embarrassed. Benny's borderline of like,
What?
like when I wave to him on the stage and like whatever, he's like kind of like, okay.
Oh, he's almost too cool for us. Yeah. Oh, the other week that happened to me. The other week, I mean, this like hurt my heart, and I'm not, I'm not even there yet. But Carter's 9; he's up to my chin. It breaks my heart. But and I know Benny's huge too. But I went into the assembly. It was Charlotte's, and I realized, oh my God, my son is in the room because I didn't realize that he would be in there. And I turned around, looked at him. I found him. And
Yeah.
of course, in my mind, I'm like, there, and look at how cute he is. He's just the cutest boy in the world. You know how moms like, we love our sons. And he literally is like. And like, what's
Like,
the way? And
Mom.
I'm like, hi, son.
Totally.
Mommy, it's me. I'm your mom. I'm Carter's mom, everybody. And he's like, totally.
Stand back, Mom. Stand back.
10 feet.
It
10
was-
feet. Yes.
So bad.
Yeah, I told my brother, I'm like, you'll be dropping him off on the corner over there.
In no time.
Yeah. I heard kids Uber it to school. Have you heard that?
No.
No.
My worst nightmare. What is happening?
They're
Wow.
Ubering to school?
I heard rumor has it from the upperclassmen. I know.
My brother and I were forced to take a taxi cab for a year with a couple other kids in the neighborhood. It was the same guy every day, but I mean, like,
Because
seriously.
your mom wouldn't drive.
Oh.
It's crazy.
From Beverlywood to Sunset.
She would not do it.
Yeah,
Our school was by like where Tower
Yeah.
Records is, call it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's far. Yeah, that was a good bit. She probably had to go to her workout.
It's like 5 miles. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like this city, and it takes way longer than that. Probably took like at least.
This
15
is the
minutes.
80s. It was so
No.
different.
The 80s.
Did she have to get to her workout?
Yeah, this one.
Tennis.
It goes like this. This is the workout.
No, wasn't she playing tennis?
No, she
No.
was not. That was
Way before that.
anyway.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, I'm really excited because next week, speaking of your brother, and I have to say it's so sweet that your brother is checking in on you like that and so attuned to you. I love that.
I thought it was really sweet too. Like I left the class and he called me on the way home and he was like, you seem distracted and really preoccupied. And I mean, I have been in my head a bit, but like I said, actually, today I'm very calm. And I was like, feeling okay. I mean, I have my mom worrying about her a bit. And like, I said the normal stuff, but not. I said, I've actually been really rested and taking like time to just really rest. It's been really nice.
That's so great.
I
How's
love
your mom
that.
doing? Can you share it with us?
She's struggling, and I ended up catching up with a guy I went to high school with. He's down the street here, and we've been like walking and hanging out, and his dad lives below him with full-time care, and his dad was out on the street with like a walker, and I mean it was so impressive to see him getting him out and walking. And my mom, I mean, if anybody has any like advice here, I could use some, because it's how to get her to, I've been going over there almost every day, and just to like sit with her, and we chat and we talk about nothing, and but she just doesn't have much energy. Like, she said she needs help getting in the shower now, and deteriorating rather quickly, actually. And I was hoping today was the day we were going to have dinner. We're trying to frequent it's so funny, we just go from one restaurant to the next to the next. My sister-in-law doesn't cook, so they eat out every night. So we just go from like one Malibu restaurant, and we'll like see you in a couple days, so we're going to go to the Greek place here, and I was hoping to go pick her up and take her, but she's like, I didn't sleep last night, and it's and then my friend, anyway, last night had an issue with his dad, having to go back to the hospital, and just, it's so hard, getting to this age, and not, you're still the child, this, Kimberly, because your mom was really sick, but yet then you're like change roles where you're now the caretaker, and it's a fine balance, like, because we're still the child, so they don't really want us to be the caretaker. And I noticed that a lot with my mom. She's like, because I said, I'll help you shower and we'll get you dressed and let's get out, and she's like, no, I don't want you doing that, like, it's, and I noticed that with my friend too, and he had two round the clock people, and I asked him how he found them, and because I was thinking, like, if we thought of an alternative for my mom, like if she, but I don't think we're moving from where she is. I think she's kind of there, and on the one hand, I'm relieved that she has the care, but on the other hand, it's like, it's this hard piece of the puzzle, I think, for us as children, how to navigate this new role, how to be supportive and caregiving without being like the dictator. Like, I can't make her walk the hallway, or like, because they don't want to listen to they're the parent.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for me, I just I would do like light suggestions of things and like let it be up to her without me being like, this is what should happen in my head. Like, for example, Mom, would you like me to take you outside? And like, this part's, I feel like I'd cry if I tell you this part, but
Yeah.
at one point in the last couple of weeks, I even was like, I'll carry you outside just so you can see it, because she was refusing a wheelchair. And I said, well, because she was so, that generation, I feel like, is also more stoic and more, and so she refused a wheelchair. She was wonderful. I mean, she really was wonderful, but probably way better than I would or will be. She was really wonderful, but her one boundary was like, I'm not going to be in a wheelchair. And like, I wish that she would, only because I'm like, I can take you for a walk. No one's going to look at you. And so, I didn't like, what I'm saying is I really, really respected her boundaries, and I would just give light suggestions with no expectation, seeing if something piqued her interest, as opposed to, you really need to take a shower, or you really should do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I would just really give her the most respect, as if she is my mother and my elder that I respect so much. And I'm just here to support you, love you, remind you you're loved. If I can be of assistance, I am here to do that. If you don't want my assistance, because a lot of times they get embarrassed, to be like naked in front of other, that whole thing in front of like their kids.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, they don't want us to do.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like this, but I think there's some silver lining for you in that, because when you're in those moments of like showering your parent, or doing some of these personal things, like, it's a little bit traumatic, because it's like it hurts your heart. Like, you feel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're happy to help, of course, but it's also a little bit heartbreaking for you as the child. It's like a pinch me moment of like, I'm caretaking for you. So I think there's a lot of beauty and grace in the sense for you that you guys have the help and you don't have to play that role, because a lot of people out there don't have the choice. So maybe for you, it's like, I'm so grateful that I don't have to be forced into that role, and just reminding her, like, if you want me to do that, fine. But if she has a boundary with that, that's okay too. Like, it's okay.
It's just like everything is new, and trying to recognize that, she is older now, and You know, it isn't the same mom. My mom was like really strong and so resilient. And like I found myself looking, she's decorated the little place very cute, and she has pictures. And I caught myself looking at the pictures and one was of her walking with Benny on the beach or somewhere. And she's like, you know, hiking. I caught myself looking at the photographs and seeing that that wasn't that long ago, you know?
It
And
happens
just
fast.
how, even in like 6 months, how the deterioration is going quickly now. And wrestling with the feelings of she doesn't really want to do much anymore and what kind of life is left. I get myself caught up in these like moments of delusion almost. Like my mom, like only remember her to be that way.
Right.
And so when I'm faced with the reality of this is how this really is now, it's really hard, you know? And
It
I
hurts.
think, you know, and I think like it's just this is the new normal, you know?
And yeah, I think
I,
I had a similar, like my mom, same thing, super vibrant, strong, stoic, bike rides, does all these things. And then, yes, it's completely heartbreaking. I think it's just the acceptance part of it. And like, whatever, like, what I think is so great for you is that one, you aren't obligated to take care of her, which is something that is a huge relief because, like I said, a lot of
I
people,
have a lot of gratitude that she's in like a really
yes,
nice place. The
yes.
people there are so nice.
I mean, that's a
Um,
huge leg up for her and for you because you can continue your life as
yeah,
opposed to having to stop your life, which I
yeah,
know a lot of people have to do. And it's very stressful. And not to say it's not stressful, but at least takes those parts of it out.
yeah.
But there's already so much emotion that comes along with it. I think just for me, it's less of what my expectations are of her in my mind, of what she should and could be doing, and more of meeting her exactly where she is and just being present. And what's so beautiful about what you're doing now, being in Malibu, you just said you visited her almost every day. That alone is such a gift that you're giving her, and that it's gonna fill you up when you look back to say, I stopped my life and I carved out time for her to meet her where she is and to be with her.
I mean, we just sat there, you
But
know, and
that's
just
it.
it's
talked
all she
about
needs.
nothing. And I do remember, I mean, I'm going to be so grateful at Christmas time that I got her for, you know, a couple weeks at my house, and she was doing better then, and cooked, and we watched movies, and she showed me a lot of the recipes that she really wanted me to know, wrote them down, and I have them in her handwriting and stuff, which I'll treasure, you know, and just, I'm like, you know, if that was like the last little bit of having mom like that, like you know, and it's so weird. I'm starting to save her voicemails and um, just things I didn't really think about before, you know. But yeah, I've been ambushing her every day. She's not thrilled about it, but you know, it's like,
But that's good. Like, show up
It is good.
regardless. So it's a little heartbreaking, but at the same time, I asked her questions about her upbringing.
Just recently saw something on social media where they were talking about something very similar, but they had like, I don't know if it was a book or what it was, but like certain questions to ask your parents and record them, and things that you don't know that things you don't know that you want, and it's interesting because I think that that's something that we didn't grow up thinking about doing, but now it's just so prevalent with social media and these phones and everything.
I like that idea too. I mean, when you guys had multicultural day
Well,
at school, and you know my mom is Hungarian, and so when I picked the kids up from school that day, they brought, well, Benny brought money to share, like Hungarian money, and Jojo brought a music box that we had gotten there, and like the music box was so beautiful and like whatever, and my brother recorded it, him playing the music box, and sent it to my mom, and he's like, I just when we were in Hungary, she was like, this was several years ago, and she was able to like show us her childhood and some of the history behind her life. You know, I would like to record because my kids didn't know all that. You know, I mean, it's like her life I mean, she's had such a full life, and just to have some of that documented for my kids, like I would love that. It's really funny. Her short-term memory is going, but her long-term is there, and she'll think of like lots of stories, and she'll remember things that I'm like, how do you remember that, Mom? But she kind of lives in the past now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's normal.
I know, like,
Yeah.
she's not future oriented at all. She's
No.
not like,
No, it
no.
stops. Yeah. Look, I have to say, I think that this is a great topic for us to talk about in such depth and intimacy because it's not talked about a lot and it's painful and I know that's not where we were planning on going today, but I think it's honest and it's authentic of what you're going through, and just for people listening, if you're experiencing this or if you did already, like you have to say positive things to yourself. Like just saying like, I know I'm being a good daughter by showing up for her, even though it's hard for you. And even if it's not going out to dinner and it's not super fun, like that's something we just have to continuously build each other up. And, like for you, Jen, like you're a great daughter to be doing that. And I know it's hard for you and I know it's not as enjoyable as in your mind, like your normal trips here would probably be, but you're showing up for your mom.
You're finding the good. You're finding the good in the situation.
I'm finding peace with it too. Like having some peace with it, like not having so much anger and like, there's a sense of like, this is where we are now. And and
Acceptance.
actually reconnecting with my friend, he's super empathic. And I watched him, he had his son and we took a walk in the rain and he was like, come see my dad. And he like brings him pancakes and fresh squeezed orange juice. And like, I mean, such a nice person to just like,
because I feel like he needs to.
He is. He is. We both are, which is so funny. And we graduated back in the day. There were only 14 of us. So like, but right now it's a good friendship. And yeah,
because I like the character traits I'm seeing. I don't know.
He's just a really good human being. And it was nice to have somebody else that's on the same thing that's really dealing with, and he's dealing with it even more because he lives right below him,
Right. So that's the caretaking part that we're talking about.
Yeah. But like, I want to see my dad, like he dropped everything to bring him pancakes and, just, just to see the compassion and, it's nice.
Sounds like husband material to me, Jen. I'm ready. I'm ready for him to, you need it.
I think his hands are full right now. He's a single dad. He's got a young child.
You got time.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. No, really, I have to give you a lot of credit. And again, for folks that have also experienced this, it's really, really hard stuff. This is not something you can ever prepare for. But I will say, I dropped absolutely everything to be with my mom, and I would do it 101 times again. There's not a thing that was left unsaid. I have so much peace with it. But I think what you're going through is just the acceptance of like what my mom called. She said, this is the human condition. And she completely gave herself up to it. She stopped fighting it's this acceptance and nobody likes it or wants it. But we have to come to terms with the human condition. And it's not fun and it's not easy. And you're lighting up her life just by being there and sitting and talking. It's priceless to her.
Yeah, and I know she, if she could, she'd muster up the strength to come to dinner and she'd do, it's just where she is right now.
When she, hopefully she'll have the energy to show up, and maybe by not pushing her, she might show up, she'll want to go,
Yeah, maybe. So far, it's just been me, I've just been going to see her.
You just show up with dinner and bring it right to her,
Yeah.
And you just sit with her with some, whatever it is, food. It doesn't even matter. It's just, it doesn't matter about going there. It's just being with her.
It doesn't matter, Yeah.
Yeah, it's just she's in a different place, but
conversation because everyone's going through, and I'm so grateful that she's in a good place and safe and around nice people that take care of her. And, I'm so grateful for that.
And close to family, which is great too.
Yeah.
Very, very great that she can
Yeah.
see your grandkids and you and Jason.
Yeah. So,
And so let's tell everyone next week what's happening.
next week's going to be a fun one.
We have a celebrity guest
We're
coming.
going to have my brother on, Jason. He's really in the know about what's been going on with like property values and fire, like the fire damages and the insurance stuff. And I think it's going to be a wealth of knowledge. I think we should take everybody on a tour of like what's really happening, because I think, once the news stops reporting on stuff, it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And communities are still really hurting here. And businesses, restaurants, retail stores, like just to try to, revitalize Malibu and, that kind of thing. So anyway, I thought that would be a really fun topic.
And we're going to be filming behind the scenes. I think for a lot of us, I mean, I live over the hill from Malibu, and my whole life I've been going there. I don't feel like I can or should go there. So I'm like I feel like I'm dipping my toe to like test the waters to go there, because I don't know what to expect.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to having that experience and sharing it with your audience. And then
I think it'll be great, and just to get people to see like, how to support these businesses. And, Pepperdine, the kids are graduating tomorrow. So it's, it's going to be even more desolate when the people aren't here. So it's just really important to get like your side of the hill to come over and go to the restaurants, and like we're trying to support that and stay local too, and just
let people know what's open. And
I mean, I just know, like,
if we can't get there.
John's Garden, the little sandwich place, that's been around since I was a kid. I mean, it's been sold and rebought, a couple times, but it's like a staple here. It's been here so long, and they're having a hard time. And just, so if we could, just give you a tour around, show you what's going on. And
love that. And so
the place I love,
Yeah, and folks that want to catch that content, it'll be on your Instagram, your TikTok, and YouTube. I think we'll do little YouTube videos too. So I think that'll be really amazing, because we can help those small businesses out, and also just share with everyone the behind the scenes of Malibu. But you're saying
I really would like it. And, it's just kind of the park that's still at the Country Mart was the same little park that I played in when I was young. And it's just, they've kept a lot of the charm. And, I know let's just not forget about it. They have, Malibu strong everywhere, and trying to keep, people positive, and, got to keep things open and not let the community die kind of thing. So,
yeah, well, we're going to go in there, and
it'll be fun, and we'll
It's going to be fun to spend a couple days out there.
I can't wait for you to be here.
It's going to be so fun.
And Sarah, we'll talk to her, because she's been really working with the fire relief. She's been volunteering and she talked to a gentleman, she told me yesterday, that his house burned down 3 times.
Oh, God.
He rebuilt it 3 times.
Wow.
She's like,
wow.
Mom. I mean, now he's not, he's out of steam, but Woolsey burned it. And then, it's burned down 3 times. So,
wow.
Just some of the actual her, but she's been working with a little local bookstore to try to keep them afloat and get the word out, to support local businesses. We need that in Park City. I mean, we do that all the time. The giving one day a year, I don't know if Malibu could come up with something like that.
I just think that a lot of people, like you said, out of sight, out of mind, disappears from the news, or, people in West Hollywood are getting back to their regular life. They don't see the damage, etc. Like what's open. Let's let these people know what's open in their own communities. And you can't make it out there, buy a gift card. How else can we support, And I think that it'd be really great to just be able to show people what's available.
Yeah.
Where they can go.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
We could go frequent our favorite store, Aviator Nation.
I know. That didn't burn down.
Nope, that's open.
I was calling them the next day.
They're opening one in Park City.
I know. Yeah.
So we're going to have our Park City sweat.
Yeah, we're going to have our own. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Kimberly, for joining us.
Kimberly, thank you for joining. And sorry, everybody, we're remote again, but we will be doing some fun stuff next week.
Yes.
And then
a lot of fun stuff. Great content. We're really going to be blowing up your social. There's so much. We're getting some merch. I mean,
merch.
Go.
The merch is fun.
The merch will be fun.
I can't wait for the merch.
Get involved.
Get involved, people.
Get involved.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to this week's episode of JK, It's Not About You.
You can write in and ask your questions on our show's Instagram page at JK It's Not About You, and we will address your questions on the next week's episode.
If this episode helped you, we would love for you to share it with your friends and family.
Share the fun with all those that can benefit from a good laugh or cry with us.
Please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we would greatly appreciate you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.